good. How are you?
Nice
Thanks
to
for making it
see
in. I
you.
appreciate it.
Buonasera.
Buonasera. So
Buongiorno.
you're going to have a good rest of the day because you've got this dinner starting later on.
We have a tasting this afternoon at 4:30.
At 4:30 at the store, right?
Yes, yes.
And then the dinner is tonight.
We have the dinner tonight at 6:30. Yes.
Look at
So we have
this.
some amazing wines that I brought, obviously
No
from
doubt. Look at
obviously
this.
from Italy, right?
Perfect. So Jessica and I have connected on a bunch of different levels, but I have to give a shout out to Sherry because Sherry is trying to make sure that you and I stay in contact.
Yes.
And they help represent you. So thank you, Sherry. And I know you're not feeling good, so I hope you're feeling better. But you've got a beautiful, beautiful shop over there. And I
Thank you.
had posted up some of the pictures, which, by the way, there are a lot of great pictures. They're like celebrities, these guys over there, interacting with everybody. There's a lot of great selfies and stuff. But your store, you've set up an amazing shop over there. So before we get into the tastings, which I'm very much looking forward to, I want to have you kind of just paint a verbal visual of how your store is set up and the unique things that you carry, if you don't mind.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you. And we created the store 12 years ago, really out of a passion and desire for wine and food, and to create something different than what was originally seen here, and something that was more of a European style. We wanted to create something where you walked into the store and it was like walking into someone's wine cellar, but with wines that were anywhere from $8 a bottle to over, $200, $300, $400 a bottle, and from all over the world, from California to Italy to France. But one of the things we did was we developed the layout of the store by body style. So the wines are not grouped by country, but by lighter bodied, medium to full bodied for reds and whites,
Right.
and bubbly wines for sparkling wines, whether they're from California or Italy or France. So really to make wine less intimidating for the average consumer, for the person.
And this kind of goes back to what I've been highlighting since the beginning of the segment, is about this additional education and about people being more comfortable. The style which you did is incredibly unique. I can't think of anybody else that has set it up in that way. But your team is also phenomenal. You guys, when somebody's coming in, you're making them 100% comfortable. And I can say this because I also have had several friends that have gone by. I put out this thing a while back about the top 100 wines that came out, Wine Spectator, and Sherry, Adam, a whole couple other people all went to your store as to get me gifts and about picking out wines that were there. I must have got 4 or 5 people alone that had gone to your store to pick out bottles because that helped them. Like when they pulled up the list and they're doing it, your team is walking them around explaining this style, and I think it makes people more comfortable.
Absolutely, and the idea behind it was to provide an environment that was all about education, and from our staff being educated on teaching consumers about wine and food pairings, from bringing winemakers and vintners here to the US, from California, from Italy, from France. It's about creating that entire experience, from education to tasting to then purchasing and going home.
Right, and although we are highlighting Italian things this segment, I want to make sure that that's completely other. She's got the selection and the breadth of the things that she has is amazing, and not just wines. You've got
Right.
spirits, and you've got a ton of different brews across the board. Of beers
Absolutely,
and spirits.
and
So.
it's wine, craft brews, spirits, and the whole model is to focus on local, not local just for Rhode Island, but family produced, smaller vineyards, ones that you might not find, ones that we actually go and travel to Italy and other countries to find and then bring back here.
So that's a good point. So we're going to start tasting some of the wine, but I'm going to have her talk about these travels because you've done some amazing travels and you also organize some different trips.
We do. We part of what we do is create experiences not just in the store but outside of the store. And about 7 years ago, we started bringing clients to different wine regions that we visited and focused on, really out of a need from clients who shared with us they wanted to travel with us and experience what we do. So we started in California and then expanded that to Europe and to Italy. And we have 2 trips this fall that are already booked, and we are planning on expanding those outside of Italy for probably 2020 into Champagne and Bordeaux.
Fantastic. I can understand why people would want to go on these trips. If you see the pictures, you instantly become jealous. So I can completely understand that. All right, let's try some wine. What'd you bring? I know you got 2 of Giorgio's, right?
So we have 2 La Spinetta wines. Yes, we have Giorgio Ravetti, who you saw earlier. We are doing a tasting with him and a wine dinner tonight. So we brought his rosé, which is made from the Sangiovese grape. This is from the Tuscan property. And then also his Vermentino, which is a white wine, all stainless steel fermented, very fresh, vibrant. In addition, the rosé is also all stainless steel fermented, perfect for lighter style cuisine, especially coming into as we're getting into the warmer season,
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah, you and me both.
No more snow.
I'm all done with it.
These are great selections to pair with lighter style cuisine as well. Fish, shellfish, oysters. I know Giorgio is a huge oyster fan.
Yeah, he was saying that.
So this is one of the selections that would go nicely with that.
All right,
as
so
well.
which one should we start with?
So we're going to start with the Vermentino.
Perfect. Vermentino's one of my favorite
So
ones.
I'll pour that for you first.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And one of the things that we also like to do, whether it's in the store or outside of the store, is really expose people to consumers to different styles of wine. So not your traditional, almost like Brian said at Boccaro,
Right.
not your traditional Pinot Grigio or Chardonnay, but to cross people over to something else. So if someone likes Pinot Grigio, then this Vermentino would be a style of wine that they might also like because it's light, it's crisp, it's dry, it's vibrant. It's something that if they want to expand what they like to drink and want to do something different, then this would be a style of wine.
That's how I got turned
like
onto
that.
it. So
Salute. Cheers.
everything that you just described is the reason I got turned on to this.
There's no oak,
Oh
so
my,
very
beautiful.
fresh
Yeah.
and vibrant.
Oh, it's a beautiful finish on it too.
And-
And this, I just actually had this the other day, my birthday. I had it with
Oh, happy belated,
scallop.
by the
Thank
way.
you, thank you, thank you. But I had it with scallops. I was actually drinking Vermentino with scallops the other day.
Nice.
So this is, I love Vermentino. Huge, huge fan.
And it's great with salads as well. I know sometimes salads are often difficult to pair wine with because of the dressing. But spinach and artichokes, green vegetables, broccoli, asparagus, Brussels sprouts. This style, very herbal style, pairs really well with those as well.
So is your team help a lot with that? As people are coming in and saying, and because I've seen this happen, people come in, I need a wine that goes with haddock, or I need a wine that goes with this pasta. That's everything you just described. Your team's helping with that as well.
Absolutely. I would say 90% of the time people come in and want assistance with picking out a bottle of wine to pair with their dinner, usually that night. And also for events, for parties, for weddings, for anniversaries. But it's really about what goes well with what I'm eating. And that's sort of the synergistic thing about wine, that there are so many aspects of it, but knowing some of the key components of how
Helps
wine
take
and
that.
food pair well together is crucial to help consumers and for our team as well.
Beautiful. All right, so now we got the rosé from last minute.
Yes,
Okay.
so the rosé, I'll pour a little for you.
Poor Jessica's doing all the talking and I'm doing all the drinking.
That's okay. That's what I'm supposed to do.
And you got to do this twice more today.
Two more times. So the La Spinetta Rosé is made from Sangiovese. Sangiovese is a red grape, and one of the interesting things people often don't know is they think that rosé is made from a pink grape, or how does rosé become rosé? I would say, I don't know the exact percentage, but most of the grapes, whether it's red or white on the outside or pink, when you press the juice out, the juice is clear.
Right.
So if it's a red grape, the juice is going to be clear. But the skins soak for a very, very short period of time, hence the reason the color is the pink
this
rosé
is lighter
color.
than I
It's-
usually see,
It's
yeah.
really light.
Yeah.
It's really light.
This is like refreshing. This is perfect.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And rosé is really a red wine, but lighter. The skin contact is for a really short period of time, maybe hours. But you can pair it with food like a white wine because it usually has the acidity. No oak fermentation, no oak barrels, all stainless steel.
Well, he's definitely got 2 more winners with these. I'm glad you brought those in.
And those actually we're gonna have at the tasting today and the dinner.
What
the
do those
dinner
retail for in
tonight.
the store? Do you have it? Any idea?
Around I think 20, maybe
Okay.
like 19, 20, somewhere in that
Exactly what I expect.
in that profile.
All right, so before I
Okay.
let her go, I want to highlight the last 2 of these red wines
we'll be
because
quick.
she's got to go to a tasting and a dinner.
So we're gonna start the first red wine, which is from one of my favorite producers, Fantino in Piemonte. So Piedmont is a northern region where
where Giorgio is.
where Giorgio's second property is from. So this is made from a grape called Dolcetto, which is a grape indigenous to that area, and it makes typically a very lighter style wine. So this is Dolcetto di Alba. And this is all
Beautiful
stainless
color.
steel fermented as well. And this is a property we visit on one of our trips and actually literally just arrived in the store today. So I thought this would be amazing
God,
for
this
you
is
to.
The beautiful nose. So speaking of the trips, as we're getting into this, how do they get more information? Can they go to the website and look it up?
So to learn more about our trips abroad, you can go to thesavorygrape.com and our news and events page, and there's a link there that has our different trips. As we start planning next year, I would say over the next couple months, new information on some of next year's trips will come about to Piemonte as well as Tuscany. We're expanding into different regions of Italy as well, hopefully next year in the coming years, and then France as well.
Perfect. So I'm going to make sure I put that link up. And we got one last
One
there.
last one, so you might have to do a little sip
Oh,
there or
you know
pour
what?
out.
I'm going to do this because I don't want to waste that. I'm going to enjoy it after I get off the air.
And Fantino is another small property. Now this is from a property called Il Boro, which is in Tuscany, so we're going back to Tuscany.
Okay.
And this is made from a blend of Syrah and Sangiovese. So
Syrah
Syrah
fan.
is a grape also known as Shiraz in different areas like Australia. And a much heartier wine aged in oak barrels, so you're getting a little bit more tannic structure, a little richer. And this is Syrah and Sangiovese. So here you have Sangiovese, a rosé of Sangiovese, and here you have Syrah and Sangiovese.
So she might be leaving me a little bit of a glass
And-
of this one before you go.
Or the bottle.
Or the
you can have
bottle, either one.
And the other thing I love about this property, Il Boro, is a place we also visit when we go to Tuscany. It has a great property, a great villa there. And it's owned by the Ferragamo family, so the fashion
Santo
industry.
Ferragamo,
So
yeah.
you might think, oh, it's a big property, a big family. But it's so boutique-y and so local, and the family runs it, and they do everything with the utmost care. It's fabulous. I love the
Beautiful.
vineyard and the wines.
So I'm going to bring Jessica back again because we have a lot more to talk about. We're going to bring in to talk about your event side of things. But I want to thank her for making the time today because her and Giorgio both had a very busy schedule and she's got to go now to her tasting at the store and then the dinner tonight at Basis. But thank you very much for making the time. I really
I love
appreciate
it.
it. I'm Rick Simone. Thank you for joining me on The Taste this week. As promised,